Oh, well, hey, man, it's Jamie. That's me here. Welcome back to my channel. Listen, let's go ahead and get into the last two episodes or the latest two episodes of FBOY Island, honey. Let's talk about it. All right, y'all. So y'all already know that Garrett, P, Andrew, and Pete done got pretty much kicked off the island for this part. All right. Now we thought that Garrett, P, and Andrew probably went on to the house. They not, girl. They look like they over there living large and taking charge. Okay. They looking down on Pete as he over there building his little forts and whatever he doing, honey. They over there sipping on some with mimosas, some champagne, some grapes and things. So they over there living the best life. Okay. Hilarious. All right. The girls are getting ready to play dodgeball or something like that. Some type of water dodgeball game. Okay. Now the ladies had to choose their men, and then after they make the decision on who they choose, whoever, I guess, at the end of the game, you have to choose the person that was the MVP of your team, and then from there, I believe you get a chance to go on a date with them. Okay. So at the end of the game, who did we see? We see Sarah choose Jared. Let me go ahead and find Jared over here. You know, I got to get a better thing together, a better system together, so that I can have everybody already on the screen, and I don't have to rightfully, you know, I don't have to search for these people. But this is Jared, okay? And we're gonna be talking about Jared more because Jared definitely had some things to go down in the second, in the third episode, okay? So then when it came down to CJ chose Sean. Let me see if I can find Sean for y'all. All right, do I have Sean over here? Here goes Sean. I think it was him. Yeah, she chose Sean, and then Nakia ended up choosing Greg. And y'all, let me tell y'all right off the gate, I'm not a fan of Greg. Greg is a TikToker. I've seen him on TikTok. I do believe that he's definitely an F boy. Everything about him says he's an F boy for some reason. It's just something about him. I don't like him. And I hate his beard. I hate his beard so much. It's something about the beard that I can't stand. But either way, that's that. Okay, so Sarah and Jared, you know what I'm saying? They hanging out or whatever. And he asked her about her other love languages and things that are important to her. She says physical and someone that can pretty much protect her, okay? Jared says that he is super independent, which was interesting because what she asked him was, she said, where is it? She asked him if he is in a relationship. I'm like, first of all, why are you, oh no, I'm sorry. She says, are you a relationship guy, or are you single, or you just like to date? This man's, his response to her was, I'm super independent. For me, I don't know what that means. What do you mean, baby? You super independent? See, how he said that for me was like, yeah, he's an F boy. When he turned around and told her, he says that he isn't anxious or looking forward to having like a house with a picket fence and all this and that. What Miss Sarah was really saying, in my opinion, was, you know, getting to a place where you can settle down and you can have a family or whatever. And what he was giving me was that that's not something that he's really ready for now or in the near future. Okay, he's like way down the line. So I'm not really sure about Jared at this time. I'm getting F-boy vibes from Mr. Jared. Okay, now when it comes to CJ and Sean, he was a dancer. Can y'all believe that? He was doing Chippendales for like 10 years. Where is Sean at, honey? Let me find this man again, because I was like, Chippendales. Okay, so he was doing like, well, he said he wasn't no stripper for real, because he didn't really take off his clothes like that, but he did a lot of, you know what I'm saying, dancing and stuff, dancing. So that was him. He did it for 10 years, but he ended up getting married in the midst of that. He was only married for like 2 years or whatever like that. And we also learned that Miss CJ got gay dads. Didn't know that, because she kept saying dads and stuff. So, you know, you never know. You know, she may have one guy that's her real dad and another guy that just, you know, not gay or anything, but, you know, probably just took on the position of being her dad at some point, but kind of find out they're actually, she has gay dads or whatever. She said that they would love him because, you know, he was a dancer. I said, girl, I don't have time, okay? That's supposed to be your man. Why your dad and them looking at him? Okay, so let's go ahead and go on. So Sarah and Daviji, okay, she ends up sitting down having a conversation with Daviji. She learns that he's a talent agent out there in LA. I think Daviji also has a pretty successful YouTube channel or whatever. So yeah, so she was talking to Daviji. He works with a ton of influencers, and you would think Sarah would be cool with that, considering the fact that I believe she's a social media content person or whatever. But I guess she probably knows best as far as her field, and she was like, listen, Daviji definitely gives me F-boy vibes, okay? So it's going to be a no for me. All right, the guys talk about CJ Okay, so they're all sitting around talking about Miss CJ, but it was somebody that had something to really say about Miss CJ, and that really was the Vigi. Okay, the guys are sitting around talking about CJ, and he says that he tried to offer CJ a book or something like that. And she was like, "What are you trying to do here? You're trying to just, give me all kind of books and stuff. You're trying to read me down. What is this?" And so he feels as though that she's a person that lacks substance, in my opinion, and that she's a person that doesn't read at all. So yeah, he is kind of like concerned about her, like she may not be of his type. Okay, she may not have the mindset that he may need her to have. She ain't even interested in opening up a book. Okay, now, Mark says that he doesn't think the Vigi is trying to get to know the girls at all. And after hearing that he was talking about CJ in the way that he was talking about her, he don't like that. He don't appreciate it at all. So I'm sure he was going to make a plan to try and get the Vigi out the house in some capacity. In some fashion. So CJ going on, she's going on another date. But she don't know what the person's name is. And I hollered, okay, because she came over to see her boo Casey, love on him, hug on him. And he thought like, oh, you about to take me out on another date. And she's like, oh, baby, no, I'm not. I'm actually here looking for Mark. Do you know who Mark is? And that was the gag for me because she didn't know who Mark was. And I was kind of like, yeah, girl, who is Mark? Okay, I guess it is hard to keep up with all of these guys. So CJ goes on a date with Mark. Sarah goes on a date with Josh, which was interesting. Sarah goes on a date with Josh. And then Nakia decides to go on a date with Jared. Okay. Chris and CJ. All right. Now we see where Chris, y'all know Chris was the rat that went and said that Colin was the one, that's an F-boy and all this other stuff. He went back and ran and told CJ some stuff. She went and told the girl. So he was trying to get Colin out the house, but it didn't work. So now he's going right on back over there to spill the tea about the Vigi and says that the Vigi had a lot of things to say about her. Okay, and she didn't really appreciate that. Now, when I first saw it, I was looking at it like, girl, why are you not questioning him? He's the one that's running back to you, telling you everything that's going on in the house. You should be concerned about him because that means that he's not even there for love. He's there to keep up the drama. So come on, why are you keeping him around, right? And we ended up learning that CJ and Chris are in cahoots, and I was pissed off about it, okay? She says that she's going to put him up for elimination so that it doesn't look like the two of them are working together. Well, your cover was blown in episode 3. So it definitely came off to everybody that y'all are working together. Okay. So when it came down to the elimination round of episode 2, CJ put up Vigi and Chris. Let me go ahead and get Chris off the screen though. So she puts up Vigi and Chris, and then after that we see where Nakia put up Tyreek and Israel, and then Sarah puts up Anthony and Charlie. Now, who ended up being the F-boys out of the group because of the ones they actually ended up eliminating? The Vigi was eliminated. He was an F-boy, so they did good. Israel was eliminated, and he was an F-boy as well. And Charlie was eliminated, but he was really an F-boy, but he was sitting up there trying to tell everybody that he was a nice guy. And then the host is like, that's not what you told the producers, okay? The producer starts speaking in her ear and said, no, ma'am, he's not a nice guy at all. He's definitely an F-boy. What is this about? Like, no, sir. You're not going to sit up here and play the girls. But he was like, but that's not who I am now. Currently, I'm a nice guy. I'm not an F-boy. So everybody else was looking at him confused because he told the producers certain stories about his F-boy past, okay? Or his F-boy present, his F-boy history is what he gave them. And then now he want to turn around and say like he's not no F-boy, he's a nice guy. So everybody was confused. So when they got ready to leave, the 3 guys that were eliminated, we thinking that he probably wasn't going to be a part of the show, because I'm like, I know y'all not going to send this man over here to like the mansion where all the nice guys are, when y'all got him listed as an F-boy. And the next day, which was the next episode, we ended up seeing him walking right on into F-boy land, F-boy island. So it was like, okay, we know for sure he still is not accepting. He's not accepting the fact that he is an F-boy. He's over there meditating, talking about how he's not no F-boy. I said, baby, I don't have time. I do not have time for Charlie. Do I have a picture of Charlie? Here go Charlie. I don't have time for Charlie, baby. Charlie over there or something else. Let's go ahead and move on to episode 3. So Sarah still thinks that Garrett is a nice guy. But for some reason, she feels as though Colin is an F-boy. And let me show y'all Garrett, because I am pressed about this. Okay, this is Garrett. This is blonde-headed Garrett. That she is just so like, I think he's such a nice guy. Oh my God, he's such a nice guy. I love that Garrett ended up getting exposed towards the end. But anyway, so she thinks that Garrett is a nice guy, but she wants to say that Colin is a F-boy. Now, she may be right about Colin. I don't necessarily know, because Colin kind of makes me think that he's an F-boy as well. But one thing's for sure and two things are for certain. When it comes to your boy, Garrett, he's definitely an F-boy, ma'am, okay? Sarah also thinks that Chris is an F-boy. And you're right about that. But what confuses me about it, she thinks Chris is an F-boy, but you don't have enough sense to realize that Garrett is the F-boy. I guess, honey. Meanwhile, the guys are starting to believe that Chris is the snitch indeed. So some of the guys are talking to him, and he's over there denying that he said anything to CJ, because they're confused, because they like the exact words that came out of DeVigi's mouth came out of CJ's mouth. So somebody had to go back and tell, and we're trying to figure out who it is, and we feel like it may be you. And he was like, no, it wasn't me. I can't wait, because at the end of the episode, it was really, to me, exposed that it was him. And if anybody goes around and continue to believe that it wasn't him, you're a fool. Okay, so they're preparing to do this photo shoot or whatever, right? So before they really could get started, we get 3 new guys. And unfortunately, I do not have their photos, but I'll try to put it in the thumbnail or whatever. So if you guys see it, it's them. Okay, so we get 3 new guys. One of their names is Jomar. The other one's name is Jared. Okay, this is new Jared. And then the other one's name is Welcome. The new Jared kind of makes you think of Russell Wilson a little bit, but a darker version. And probably maybe even a shorter version of Russell Wilson. He too was like this guy. I believe he said he was a professional football player, and now he's a businessman and stuff. So, you know, there may be some similarities there. But anyway, what else? I feel like Jared is an F-boy. I don't know. It's just the energy that he's leading with in the house makes me think that he's an F-boy. Or he could be a nice guy, but he's just overly arrogant with his. Who knows? Welcome gives me the vibe of a really nice guy. And Jomar, I don't know. The verdict is still out, considering the fact that we learned at a later time when he sat down with CJ and told us that he's never been in a relationship before. It's like, oh, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? At the same time, so it's kind of like he could be a nice guy because he's never been in a relationship before. Maybe he takes it very serious, so he has to move forward. But then it also could be like, nah, you're an F-boy because you haven't been in a relationship, maybe you just be out here playing with these girls. You know, so the verdict is still out on Joe Mark, okay? So while they're taking a photo shoot, let me tell y'all what was rude as fuck to me. And before I get into this show is getting to the drama, but I wish the show was actually on network television, because a lot of people aren't purchasing the app to watch the show like they do Love Island. Like, I love the commentary that we have around Love Island. I love when we tweet about it. I love when it comes on at a certain time every day, whatever. Like, I like that. And I wish that they would implement that with HBO Max or something, but that's just not going to happen. But, you know, I wish they would partner with another network or something. I don't know. You know how, like, with the BET Awards, they may show it on MTV or VH1 or something and BET. I kind of wish HBO Max would do something like that, but I guess not. I guess this was their way to try and get people to purchase the app. But okay, honey, let's go ahead and move on. All right, so when they taking the photos and stuff, right? So you got old Jared. So you got Jared, the new Jared, sitting down. Okay, I don't have a picture of new Jared, but this is a picture of old Jared. Okay, old Jared goes to have a sit down in between Jared and somebody else. It's not a lot of space in between them. So he wedges himself in between both of those guys and kind of like telling them to scoot over. But new Jared was just standing in his spot like, I'm not going to move nowhere. You know what I'm saying? He was like, hey, dog, you need to scoot over. He was like, can you say, excuse me? Dang. I was with new Jared all day long. Your big buffety buff ass want to come in between this man and damn near sit on the man. Even the dude to the right of you was kind of looking like, what's wrong with him? But he was too weak to check you and tell you about yourself. But the new Jared got your ass together. And I was so here for the new Jared. Okay, I want to see him in the house a few more days. Okay, because I'm loving the buttons that he's pressing up amongst the old Jared. Okay, so I didn't like that, but I love how he was like, yo, you need to you know, scoot over or whatever. Like, not scoot over, but you need to say excuse me or something. Don't just be coming sitting on me and try and push me out the way. That's not how we doing it. Just because you feeling the way and you threatened because I'm new here and I done came into the house. And baby, bye. Anyway, so Nakia and Garrett Jared. All right. So Jared, once everything is over, this Jared on the screen runs up to Nakia, wanting to talk to her, telling her about how the new Jared is trying him, but he wants her to know, I'm here for you. I'm here for you. But you know, if he comes at me, I'm gonna have to defend myself and this, that, and the other, whatever. Right? Trying to hurry up and get in her ear so she know what's up. Well, when new Jerry saw them two together, this was rude. This was very rude. Okay, he walked up on her like, "What's up?" Like, right in the middle of the conversation, she was like, "What's up? Can we go ahead and have our date?" All right, now I feel like new Jared was much more aggressive than Garrett, the Garrett P that got kicked out when she felt like, oh, he's hovering over me like I'm his girlfriend or something. See, that was awkward at the time, but she didn't say that what the new Jared did was awkward at all. See, it only applies, it seems like, to the people that she's actually interested in. So when he walked up on her, interrupted it, you know, they had an exchange of words as far as the two Jareds. Nakia walked off with a new Jared, went and had a seat, consulted with him. And that was pretty much that, you know, getting a chance to really get to know him. Now, when it comes down to Jamar, like I told you guys, Jamar sat down with CJ. He's never been in a relationship before. I don't think CJ took too kind to hearing that, okay? Garrett. Now we see, well, Welcome is having a seat with, what's her name? Welcome is having a seat with Sarah. So they're getting to know each other. They vibing out. They're having a great time. Who's looking over at Garrett? Garrett is pressed, and I can't stand it. Garrett is pressed so hard. He is pressed boots. Okay, so he goes over there, interrupts the conversation, and Welcome just thought it was funny because as soon as she mentioned that she had a connection in the house with Garrett, Garrett walked up just like that. Okay, and for Welcome says, I know that he's threatened by my presence, but it's all good. Okay, so he sits down, and what I don't like about Garrett to me is playing games, and he's fake. He's wasting Sarah's time. I wish that she knew, and I hate that he's fighting so hard to waste her time. That's what FBOYs really do, though. They fight so hard to get your time, act like they're really interested in you, get all of your attention, make you believe the relationship is going somewhere, only to leave you flatlined at the end of the day. And I hate it so much. And then he want to sit up there and tell the cameras about how he think he falling for her. At first, he was thinking with a different head when he came in, and now he think that he's starting to fall for her. I was like, boy, you are such a fuck boy. I cannot stand him. And that's why I'm so glad he got exposed by the end of the episode, right? So then let's move on. So we can see where Jared is talking to one of the guys. I think he was talking to Greg about how he felt like the new Jared tried him. So Greg is like, well, maybe y'all should just have a conversation, get it all out, and then let's move on. So he goes to the new Jared trying to like square up and squat up in his face and stuff like this. And I'm like, first of all, you're doing too much. Nobody gives a fuck about your muscles, okay? Just because you got muscles don't mean that you can't get your ass beat, period. So new Jared is like, bro, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? So he, old Jared was just saying like, yo, bro, can you admit that you approached me wrong? Can you admit that you said this and that and you did? And I was like, baby, if he don't have a seat, even new Jared was telling him to have a seat. Old Jared now called the new Jared a damn goober, honey. And then new Jared said, you want to talk about me being a goober, but look at you. Look at what you have on. Look at your shirt, goober. And I was here for it. Everybody in the back was cracking up. New Jared was clowning him about his hair and how, you know, he needs to get it redone. Like he was wearing this boy out, and I was so here for it. And old Jared ended up doing what people do when they feel like they're being defeated and they're losing the battle. He starts to stand up all aggressively, like he probably gonna swing on a man. And then Nakia had to come in between and stop them. She sits down with the new Garrett, trying to figure out what's going on with the old Garrett. The old Garrett grabs her. Pay attention to this behavior. Even if old Garrett is not a FBOY, I still don't think he's a good guy for her. Grabs her, walks off, goes to talk to her about it because she's trying to figure out what's going on. She's like, he's trying to get at you. You gotta, you know, get yourself in a better position so that you're not acting like this and whatever. You know, she's trying to calm him down and shit. Well, he tells her, I don't even want to talk about it no more. And it's like, first of all, nigga, you pulled me over here so we can have a seat, so we can talk about it. And then now you want to cut me off when I'm talking about it, Tim, and you want to talk about it. Mr. Kid say, no, we're going to continue to talk about it because I want to talk about it. See, I don't like that. That whole energy, you know what I'm saying? It's something about Jared, old Jared, that I really need him to go ahead and exit. But those are just my opinions, okay? Some guy named Ryan had to leave the island. Girl, we was like, who is Ryan? I don't even know if I got a picture of Ryan. Here go Ryan. The girls even asked, who is Ryan? Girl, they had to do a flashback of all the scenes Ryan was in. I was tickled because nobody remembered him, and not even me. Who was he? He played in the background. So he had to leave. Come down to elimination. Episode 3 elimination was a messy AF. Okay, messy AF. So Nakia chose Kevin and Jamie. Let me see if I have their pictures, y'all, because you know I'm gonna do better. I promise I'm gonna do better with this by the next time. Do I have their picture? I should have Jamie's picture. There's Jamie. This is Jamie, and then she also chose Kevin. Do I have a Kevin? Do I have a Kevin here? I don't think I have a Kevin. Do I have a Kevin over here? Okay, I'm gonna have to pull everybody's stuff. So she chose Jamie and Kevin. CJ chose a Matt and Mark. Okay, let me take Jamie off the screen. She chose Matt and Mark, and then Sarah chose Chris and Fernando, right? And y'all know who Chris is. Chris is the motor mouth in the house telling CJ everything. When it came down to it, Nakia eliminated Jamie. Jamie happened to be a nice guy. CJ eliminated Mark. Okay, Mark happened to be a nice guy. Miss Sarah eliminated Chris. I was like, yes, got his ass out the house. What happens? CJ says no. She speaks up and says no. She says, we talk all the time. We're building something here. You know, he tells me the things that I need to know and da 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 da. Whatever it is she says. So she's like, I don't want to eliminate him. That can't happen. So that right there lets us know that they had something going on. So everybody started to believe, like, listen, he is a mole. He's a mole in the house. So the host says, okay, well, 3 guys have to go home. So you ladies need to come together. So she asked Nakia, are you going to eliminate somebody? And Nakia said, I ain't eliminate nobody. She asked Sarah. Sarah said, I'm not going to eliminate nobody. Meaning they had each girl had 2 options to send home. They chose one originally, right? So when Sarah chose to send home Chris, Miss Thang asked Nakia, since you're sending home one person, do you want to send home another person? And the other person? Nakia said no. Asked Sarah the same thing. You want to send home the other person? And Sarah said no. She asked CJ. Okay, CJ ended up eliminating both of her guys to save Chris ass. She eliminated Matt and she eliminated Mark, and it kills me watching this show. That's why I'm like, damn, I wish this shit was on network television so everybody could really chime in and watch this, and we really talk about this stuff like on Twitter or whatever. Because I feel like Miss CJ is pissing me off so much. It's like, I don't even think she's there for the guys. I really don't even think she's there for love. I think she's there for the SHI, just like Chris is there for the SHI. But I must be honest and say, when CJ gets with Casey, I think they make a super cute couple. I will say that. They make a super cute couple. Right, but this is the last thing. Let me wrap this because this review going longer than what I wanted. So real quick, so as Matt was getting ready to leave out the house, honey, Matt said he not leaving without speaking out and telling the girl some of the things that was already said. So he told on Garrett, talked about how, first of all, he said Greg has a girlfriend. Y'all know this is the black dude with the beard that's on TikTok. Said he got a girlfriend. Of course, Greg denies it. When it came down to Garrett, he let it all out. He said Garrett told them that Sarah not ready for a relationship. He also says that what else he said is that he will always be messing with LA HOEs. Okay, he'll be messing with them hoes from LA. Then he also said that he had a relationship back home. So this man already has a girlfriend. So when they asked Garrett about it, Garrett ended up saying, oh yeah, but it was a 4-month situation. It was so short. And then I left and I came here. Listen, long story short, I don't believe nothing that Garrett is saying. Garrett is full of SHI, and I hope this helps Sarah see him for exactly who he is. But that's all I got. You guys leave your thoughts and comments down below on the latest 2 episodes of FBOY Island. Now, Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.